Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to London Open Mic, second last event of our 5th season, and the last time, hopefully, that I will ever have to introduce the event. Yes. And while I'm saying that, I may as well say that next month, June 7th, is my last ever event that I'm organizing, and so being the organizer, I could just slip myself in there as the featured poet, which I did. So any of you who have come to really love my poems that I read during the open mic in these last 5 years, next month you'll get as much as you want or more. Anyway, so that's it. Yes, that's me, Stan, and I'm co-hosting with Joan Clayton. And we're featuring tonight poet, novelist, altogether busy guy, man about town, Jason Dixon. And I think everybody in the city knows him or knows of his name. Followed by a question and answer period. Then we're going to start the open mic. Everybody who wants to read in the open mic, sign up on the sheet at the back if you haven't yet. You have 5 minutes maximum to read. And then we'll stop for an intermission at 8, roughly. So you can all go to the washroom or whatever. This is a pay what you can event. There's a jar at the back table. It's the only way we can pay our expenses. We have no other source of income. So please do. And if you put money in there, you'll get raffle tickets. And after the intermission, we'll make a draw for the raffle prizes. Also, I have a big announcement after the intermission. So hang around. Announcements. Okay, this is my last season as organizer, as I said before. The big question I've had ever since the beginning was, are we going to somehow be able to keep this thing going after I stop organizing it? And it's never been certain. And I should say, Andreas Grip told me at the very beginning that he had an open mic several times before this, and every time, and he didn't have any people around him. He did everything, all the work himself. So as soon as he got tired, everything just stopped. And so my idea was to make sure that there's more people than just me working on this, which luckily we have had. And but even so, we didn't really have the right people to keep the organization going. So I was never sure. I put out a plea on the internet, and luckily, Mary Dowds had just moved here from Victoria and read it, and so she volunteered. This is Mary here. She has the ability to do most of the stuff that I've done. She's really computer literate, more so than me. She is really good at organizing. I mean, I'm sure way more so than me. And the only thing is she just moved in and doesn't really know the city too well. And I was also thinking about one other person. So I was kind of like having a difficult time trying to figure this out. Kevin Heslop, who has been, and the closer it got to the end, the more I thought about him, and I thought what the value he was. Him and I have really been sort of partnered on this whole thing most of the distance, and if he had not been with me, I would have really made a mess of it lots of times. And he is like so good at instantly solving really complex problems with the perfect solutions that I would never have ever thought of, and just like bang, 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 and consequently we're still here and going. So and also he knows the city really well. He knows the people, the poets, he knows how to make things happen in the city, not just in our little thing. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, right, him and I have really been partners on this whole thing. So I was tossing and turning one night trying to figure out what the heck to do, and I couldn't get to sleep. I was so anxious about it, and it suddenly occurred to me, co-organizers, 2 organizers. Never thought of that. I mean, it's always just like one person running everything and everybody else sort of helping, or, the alternative has always been a committee, which, has a pretty poor reputation in history of, everybody getting angry at everybody else and falling apart and so on. So, 2 organizers, both of whom are completely opposite but compatible. Like, relationships happen like this. Linda and I are like this. For heaven's sake, we are like the perfect example. But anyway, Mary Dowds can do everything that I do and probably better. But everything that Kevin does is really essential. So, we should have been co-organizers a long time ago. It never even occurred to me all this time. So that's what we're going to do. Co-organizers. They got together, met each other, and realized that they would work out really well that way. Each one would supply what the other person lacks in spades. So, and I got to say one thing about Mary. I watch her during the readings, and occasionally, don't get self-conscious, But I have ADD. I've only discovered this a few months ago, which means I have a really hard time focusing on a poem that's being read. My mind goes out all the time. It's trying to pull myself back in, and it's really difficult. But I see Mary, she's like totally focused on the poems. My God, I would give anything to be like that. Well, Mary's career has been as a court reporter. Can you imagine the total training to listen to the words and write them all down without making any mistakes? She's got the mind to be able to do that, and I wish I could. Anyway, so things will change somehow. So that's my big announcement. Kevin and Mary are going to be co-organizers from now on. Kevin, Mary, stand up and let everybody see you. And I would say the same to Kevin, but Kevin right now is in the beginning of his acting career. Right now, I think he is on the stage at the Grand Theatre as one of the 2 lead actors in Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew. He plays Catherine, and he has it's a role switching version. And I saw it. I saw the opening day, and my God, he has a big soliloquy at the end, just before the end. And everybody, the guy behind me was banging his knee up, and looking at his cell phone all the time. He stopped and he was totally focused. And there's this couple of lovebirds in the back row. They're whispering to each other the whole time, like really irritatingly. And they were just staring at Kevin, listening to every word. It was, you know, he is so good. It's incredible. For his third role in his life, but makes sense to me. I know him. Yeah, reading his poetry. Yeah, could have something to do with it. Anybody who's heard him read is incredible. Okay, two other little things quickly. Basic Poetics Reading Group is meeting for its second time. Saturday, May 13th, Sheila Dean will be leading a discussion on metaphor. So if anybody wants to attend Saturday, May 13th at 2, get a hold of me. It's at the Landon Library. And we have our open poetry workshop ongoing. It's every second Wednesday. Anybody wants to attend, get a hold of me. And we have a videographer here, Sebastian Rydzewski, who puts out a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of effort in making the videos. He's not a poet. He comes here in hopes that he will increase his client base. He does tech things. So if anybody here has any use for him professionally, or knows of anybody that might have, especially that, in terms of videography, but also video editing, home theater installation, media setup, home network, personal computer maintenance, also web development, programming, post-production, virtually anything tech-worthy, please get a hold of him, and that will help pay his way. Thanks. I'm the first reader.